Mari Hotep, whatever your greeting of peace, welcome. We are now live on the TalkBlackRadio show. It's all sort of go, it's all the gaggle in here this morning. Thank you very much to Uncle for keeping us for the last 2 hours and a bit, and also for giving up the space to let us come in. We are normally here on a Sunday, but we're here a little bit early. Today we're here on a Saturday, and the reason is we have international guests. We have people who have flown across the great Atlantic to join us today. So we got up early, we came in, I got dressed, the others didn't, and we made something happen. So I'd like to welcome our guest today. We have TC Carrier, who is a well-respected author, has a load of fans waiting in the UK as he begins the book tour. And also King Kevin Dorival. Now, these brothers have written some books on male and female relationships. That's how we like to say it. We call it male and female relationships. But the actual titles are The Science, Kevin help me now, The Secret Science of Black Male and Female Sex, and 7
Types of Queens, King's Desire.
There you go. So, gentlemen, welcome. How are you doing today?
Oh, bless up, man.
Oh, no, it's not like that. We ain't gonna be all formal.
Okay,
just relax, let it go. It's cool. We're just chatting like we chatted. Because we was out last night. We actually are coming in late. Because we didn't party. We ate. We had a nice time. But we was out yesterday till quite late. So, no, we're just gonna chop it up like we do and
Sounds
relax.
good.
So, go ahead. What would you like to say? Go ahead. Who are you talking about?
Bless up. This is King Kevin. I'm thankful to be here on Omega Black Talk Radio show.
The sign says it for itself. The Talk Black Radio show here on Omega FM.
First time in London. It's a blessing. Dream come true.
Yeah, it's a blessing to have you, bro. It's a blessing to have you.
Greetings, y'all. This is TC Carrier, author of The Secret Science of Black Male and Female Sex. Bigs up to my UK fam, showing us nothing but love out here. Just great to be in the studio and to chop it up with my fellow brothers.
Yeah, well, hey, it was good. Like I said, yesterday, we went out to this thing. There was I think they had like a speed dating thing. I had done speed dating, like I don't really do speed dating. I don't agree with the principle. But they had a little speed dating thing. Looked like it was fun. You guys was in there giving people the benefit of your wisdom, I guess.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Was you actually was you coaching or was you in the speed dating thing? How was that work?
You know what? We actually was participating, and one thing I found out that the issues that black women have in the U.S. is the issues black women have in the UK.
I agree.
And also the good things about it as well. As UK, beautiful sisters out here, me and Kevin really enjoyed ourselves.
Okay, I'm not sure how I'd take that. In terms of the conversation and the interactions. Because you was blowing up Instagram and all that stuff. Yeah, was you and Sister smiling with you in your book? Because apparently, like all of the fans I've seen so far, I haven't heard any brothers talking about it, which is kind of interesting because today's a brothers show. Yeah. It's only men in the studio. Unfortunately, Suzanne couldn't be with us today. She may call in, but she couldn't be with us just yet. But I haven't really had a chance to see how the brothers handle it. But I know the sisters really love the book and they really are getting behind the tour. So
definitely. Yeah, my main supporters of the book have been the sisters. I think the sisters are ready for change, where brothers, first of all, we don't read as much as we should. Sisters are always reading, and they're always trying to improve themselves. So it's easier, I think, for sisters to take a look at themselves, whereas brothers have a hard time with our egos to really get in and find our issues and to deal with them.
Well, that we shall discuss later and see if that really is the case. I may have to take some issue with some of that later, but also I've forgot to introduce my partners in righteousness here, Brother Trevor and Brother David. How you guys doing?
Good. Very well. It feels different, to be honest. We usually do our shows Sundays 4 till 6.
Yeah.
You know, you've had the whole day, you're kind of struggling.
And dinner's on the stove.
Yeah, so it's a different vibe being here on a Saturday, but no, happy to be here still.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you know, maybe we'll try. It's a Saturday morning thing. And I don't think I've ever done that, having gone out late the night before. So this is a double whammy for us. David, how's it going, bro?
It's good. It's good to be here with the brothers from America. It's gonna be fun today.
Yeah, I was thinking that because like y'all ready to discuss? Because to me, I think the male and female relationship thing, I generally try to stay away from. Because people get really upset if you don't come at it a certain way, and it kind of, I think it's such a big topic that we really have to deal with. but you got to deal with it in a sensitive way and a way that is intelligent and that we've actually thought through. So we brought the scholars on to have a conversation and see. So Trevon, let us frame this thing with some statistics, and let's just appraise everybody with the understanding of where we are with black male-female relationships, and then we will open up the table and see where we go.
All right, well, we start off, when we talk about black male-female relationships, black families, generally there's if we look in our own, I know personally, and from talking to people in my circle, when you talk about black families and black relationships, a lot of people have like a negative mindset towards it in terms of like looking in our families, how many of our grandparents or our uncles and aunts, people in our family, are actually married and happily married in our community. And then when we talk about single parent households and things like that, but when I was looking at the statistics in this country, there's a few, in just a little bit harder in this country because there's less of us here. Yeah. They don't necessarily keep those statistics the same,
and they don't really employ anyone to find out anything about
no,
the 1 million of us who are hiding somewhere on the island.
They don't consider that important enough, I guess. But one of the things that comes up is that half of black children in the UK are raised in single parent households, and generally women leading the household, so without fathers. In the United States, obviously, there's found quite a few interesting statistics around black marriage, and it was talking about how basically in 2014 only 29% of African Americans were married compared to 48% of all Americans, basically. So the rate was a lot higher. Then basically half of black people in the States have never been married compared to 33% of all Americans. And then what was interesting is...
So hold on. That means... I want to get in with this. 67% of all Americans have been married.
Yeah, at some point.
Oh, wow. Go ahead. Okay.
And then they had this census study where they basically they tracked marriage, the rate of marriage from 1890 to 2010. And what they found was black men and women were more likely to be married than their white counterparts up until like the 60s and 70s. Yeah. And then from that period onwards, it kind of declined, and then from the 1980s to 2010, it's talking about the prison industrial complex,
crack cocaine,
these sort of things. Then it's just been a crazy decline. So the number of never married African American men went from 10% in 1980 to up to an increase up to 25% by 2010. While I think for African American women, but for the white population, it remained exactly the same over that period of time. Wow. So when I was looking at that, it made me think about how it's not just we have our issues, but it seems like it's kind of by design as well, in terms of the situations we find ourselves in. And lastly, they had a study where they were talking about single parent homes in the States, and they said 70% of non-Hispanic white children aged between the ages of 0 and 18 grew up in a two-parent household. 59% of Hispanic children grow up in two-parent households, but it's the same is only true for about a third of black children. So you can see again that disparity in our community.
And generally how the statistics work, because we're so affected by similar things, those statistics generally travel over here, and when they come over here, they're either similar or worse.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. The black experience in the Western world is very, wherever you look, it's different places, even in Europe, France, different places.
Because it's not quite like the Black Panther yet, where you go one place and we're on top here in Katanda, where he comes from.
I can't remember what's the name of that.
So it ain't like we don't have, wherever we go, we're at the bottom. It's not like there's one place that we're killing it.
Yeah. Okay, it's a bit like that.
So TC, does that bear witness to your experience and what you see and what you've studied and researched for your book?
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's definitely been a continued effort to suppress the black man and woman and the child, and the family is the main concern. My thing is, the focus is really on the black woman. The black woman is the number one threat to white supremacy, not the black man.
Explain that for me.
The black woman is the number one threat because the black woman has the lineage, right? Mm-hmm. She is the maternal, which means material. She has the material for the link to our illustrious past. So through her genes and her legacy, is the future of black people. She is the maternal instinct. And also in Africa, they always based the society on the matriarchal. So the matriarchal meaning that she holds the key, the legacy through her womb for all the greats in our society that will become in the future.
Because everyone of greatness comes through a woman, right?
Exactly, exactly. So to deal with her, you have to deal with her number one protector and provider, which is the black man. So that's one thing that's a misnomer now, is that the black man is not the issue. Well, not the number one threat, but he is the issue because he supports and protects the black woman. So if you eliminate him, white supremacy has access to the black woman. Yes,
which they have had for quite a long time.
No
Kevin,
question.
does that, again, does those statistics and that kind of base, I just want to set up where we're going today, but that bear witness to your experience and your study?
Oh, definitely. Every year I host an event outside of writing books. I host an event called the Black on Black Crime Solutions Panel. This year was our fourth one. And through my research, thanks to Dr. Amos Wilson and scholars like that, I've come to understand why, like TC said, the black woman is such a threat. Because everyone wants to be with the black woman. You know, black women in the States are overly sexualized. They now hold the top positions in different industries and careers. You can see it's evident how successful they are. And when you look at the black man, they, are struggling, And so what I realized that if we empower the black woman to get back to the throne and not necessarily see her strength and beauty in her sexuality, but in her inner spirit, her strength and her prayers, that we can get the black men back on point. Because as long as the black woman is focused on her sexuality, how sexy she looks, continue taking selfies, continue taking all these travels, she will never have time to actually stay home and take care of home.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
getting real now.
No, because we have to do this, because you were speaking about roles, and then you went, I think you said you was in Ghana, and you saw like the roles that people had.
Yes.
Like the roles in terms of our relationships. I was finding it's a hot topic, because that's where like Trevon said, it seems to me that the statistics say we're under attack. Like there's this structural attack that we're under. However, what we're arguing about never seems to be that. What we're arguing about is, but why can't I go to work and I should, whatever, and I earn more money than you, and you ain't no man because you should be able to see me earn money and be happy for me and not have any issues of your own. To me, I don't know, masculinity seems to be a bit of a crime these days. It's like it's actually out of style kind of thing. Am I wrong, David?
No, you're right.
I don't know if it's that. I get the point of that, but we're coming from a space of damaged goods. We're starting from that place. So we're both damaged goods that we're now coming into enlightenment and coming into our roles. So that's the disturbance. The damage is the disturbance to the relationship.
The damage that we come on. So in that case, actually, that that was a point that was riding me when I was looking at the books and I saw the level that both you brothers were speaking on in your books. But what I was trying to get my head around is, how do we use this coming from a damaged space? How do we, because especially yours is like, you go into the sciences in terms of like creation and stuff.
Exactly.
With how yours is. And obviously when you're talking male-female relationships and the purpose, it is really the creation and the propagation of life. That's why male and female, positive and negative, come together. But then how do we, looking at the situation that we're in, the damage that we're in, how do we use the science that you have or the information that you share, how do we use that from a damaged position?
Okay, great question. First of all, before we can get to the knowledge, we have to be in a position to receive the knowledge. And to be in that position means that you have to look at yourself from an outside perspective. You have to let the ego go and really look at yourself as honest and truthful as you can. We are all damaged goods, as Brother David was saying. And if you, first of all, cannot acknowledge that we are damaged, then there's no way that we can repair what has been done to us for over 400 years.
Yes.
So I don't care how good you think you're doing. I don't care how much money you make. how much success that you feel you have. If you are black and you living on this planet, you are operating at just a fraction of your true potential. So you must admit that you have a problem. I think they say the first thing about addiction is admitting that you have a problem.
Right.
So once we could admit as a people that we are damaged goods, then we can actually go in and really do the work to see what that's right. If it's from my book, if it's from Kevin, if it's from the nation or whatever, at least you have to come in with your ego left out the door.
Check it out the door, yeah.
Wow. Okay.